I see, Toga yelled, trying to grab the phone from Dobby's hands. The entire rickety car shook as she pushed out of her back seat into the passenger's side. Shigaraki swerved, narrowly avoiding a civilian on the street. "Sit your ass down, Toga," he screamed, trying to shove the girl out of the front of the cramped car. "Don't talk to her like that," Twice yelled quickly, followed by, "Yeah, sit your ass down, Toga." He grabbed at Toga, trying to force her back into her seat. Dobby bit her arm as she reached across his face, making her yelp and back off. "Keep your arm out of my face or I'll bite an actual chunk out next time." He glanced back at the phone in his hand before pointing to the right. "Turn here, Dusty." Shigaraki slammed on the brakes, twisting the wheel to quickly swerve into the next street. "I need to know sooner than that," he said as the members of the car tried to pile back into their seats as they were slammed forward. The seatbelts had all broken a while ago, so Shigaraki constantly set them flying as he brake-checked at another red light. "Stop touching me, Compress," Toga called, batting at Mr. Compress's arm. He elbowed her, trying to push away, making her shove him back. "I am going to touch you, Toga. You are literally sitting on top of us." He tried to gesture to the car, but with limited arm movement, it didn't quite work. Shigaraki was driving the old vehicle, artist gloves on his finger to ensure that they wouldn't end up in the middle of the street, a disintegrated car around them. He was the only one with a technically legal license, even though it was fabricated. Dobby got the passenger seat all to himself as the designated navigator. Plus, he smelt enough even in a space like this, and no one wanted to be directly next to him. Burnt flesh and mothballs were definitely not the favorite scent. He made sure everyone knew he was enjoying himself by throwing his feet up onto the dash, leaning his chair back, and crushing the other members. On the actual three-seater was Mr. Compress behind Shigaraki, Twice in the middle, and Magne on the opposite side. Toga was laying over the three haphazardly as she was the smallest in weight. Spinner was, unfortunately, stuck on the ground of the vehicle, struggling to just find anywhere someone's foot was not. "If you guys don't start bickering, I will flip this car around and we will all go back to the bar," Shigaraki called at them in the rearview mirror. "So help me Satan, I will dust all of you." Toga stuck her tongue out at him but stopped fighting with Mr. Compress, instead crawling onto Magne's lap as they slammed forward at another red light. Magne put her arms up as Toga reached forward, grabbing the lever on the passenger side chair and pulling it towards her. Dobby flew all the way back with a yelp, dropping his phone in the crack of the chair. "Toga!" he screamed and tried to grab her before she grabbed the phone. She giggled, taking the possession back to the other side of the car, plopping herself on Mr. Compress. Spinner tried to kick at Dobby's seat, grunting, "Dobby, pull this chair up right now before I lose feeling in my leg." Dobby grunted, complying slightly, allowing just enough room for Spinner to breathe. Toga turned on the phone before screaming, "Turn left!" Shigaraki cursed as he flipped the car into the other lane, cars honking loudly. He turned quickly, the wheels skidding on the pavement, the passengers flying around. "Get your elbow out of my side," Magne said to Twice sternly. Twice quickly complied, shoving into Mr. Compress. "Sorry, I'll do whatever I want." Mr. Compress frowned, just trying to keep Toga from sliding out the open window. Without air circulation in the car, they would be dead in an instant, hot shower water being a commodity at the bar. Spinner smacked at the back of people's feet, trying to avoid hitting them in the face. "Why didn't we just leave people back at the bar?" he asked Shigaraki, who groaned. "Because Dobby will burn it down. Toga would probably find a way as well. Compress would make it into a theater. You would make it into a shrine for Stain. Twice would probably wreck it, and I wasn't about to leave Magne alone." He listed reasons for each of them in turn, speeding through cars. "And I'm the only one here with a plausible license." Dobby grunted, unbuckling, and tried to reach into the back seat to grab the phone back from Toga. "You can't play games. You need to keep the GPS open." Toga bit his finger in response, flipping back to the GPS screen. "Happy?" she asked, showing him the screen. Dobby tried to grab again, getting his hand smacked. "You made us miss the turn, dumbass," he said, catching a glimpse of the screen before grabbing the wheel out from under Shigaraki's hands, flipping a quick U-turn and rubbing at his eyes. Shigaraki took control again. "Now give me back my phone." Toga held it out the window, sticking her tongue out at Dobby. The car hit a bump, making the phone slip out of her grasp. The members watched in horror as she pulled her hand back in, no phone in sight. "Whoops." Dobby's flames burst to life in his hand, making the already hot car unbearable. "What the hell, Toga?" he screamed as Shigaraki tried to keep the car in the street and not in the median. Compress flicked the phone out from behind Dobby's ear, chuckling as his flames sputtered out. A magician never reveals his secrets. The members all let out a sigh of relief, and Dobby pointed Shigaraki into a business center. That one was controlled and calm, as Shigaraki slowly applied the brakes. "What are we each getting?" Magne asked, pulling out a piece of paper to take notes on. "We probably should have already decided." The car shouted out their order, letting Magne scribble the orders quickly, offering suggestions for upsizing and upselling in certain areas. She read back what each of them wanted as they pulled up to the machine to order. Rolling down the back window, Shigaraki let her read off every order, yelling to be heard in the microphone. The car was completely silent as they all made sure they got what they wanted. "Your total will be $80.84 at the window. Thank you." The headset was cut off as they pulled forward, making sure that their masks were in place. Shigaraki turned to Dobby, holding out his hand as Dobby pulled a credit card from his pocket. "Courtesy of the number 2 hero," he said when the members looked at him in confusion. "Let's just say he owes me this." Shigaraki handed the lady the card, the window quickly closing. She brought their card back along with all their food and drinks, slowly handing them out. They could see the wheels turning in her head as she tried to figure out where she recognized them from. But one doesn't just expect the most wanted villains to pull through McDonald's drive-thru and order $80 worth of food. Food was handed out quickly, allowing people to eat in silence, the bickering finally quieting down on the drive back to the bar. That was until all the drinks on Dobby's lap went flying into the back seat. Kurogiri took another sip of his tea, sighing at the quiet in the bar. He had said something about needing to go on an important recon mission. Truthfully, he had hidden in the back room until the members had filed out the door, enjoying the time alone. He deserved a break just like everyone else.